Inevitable consequence of war. Separation.
I do miss you so very much.
Shall we become engaged in a sort of distant way, so that we are sort of linked together?
This exhibition is about what it's like to be a soldier in love, or what it's like to be in love with a soldier.
I do hope that this old war will soon be over, and that you will soon be home.
There are some very, very touching and moving letters, but mostly what I've learned is the bravery of these couples, the terrible and the difficult things they often had to cope with.
I was much touched by the single-mindedness and simplicity of the letter. Which
200 years ago, 100 years ago, today, people are coping with the same thing, which is really trying to keep the other half in touch with the details of their life.
Until fairly recently, letters were the only way those serving abroad could communicate with loved ones back home. Today, with phones and the internet, it's obviously much simpler. But does that make relationships any easier? Or does regular contact pose its own set of challenges?
The FPO has a link.
Caroline Flynn MacLeod's husband has just returned from a 7-month deployment to Afghanistan. For them, traditional ways of communicating remain the best.
Immediacy isn't necessarily a good thing. If you're sending an email, all the emotion comes out. So if you've got a problem, you're sitting there and you're sort of typing it and not necessarily thinking so carefully about how it's going to be for the reader at the other end. Again, with telephone calls, wonderful how it is to hear my husband's voice. The connections can be terribly bad, so you get echoes or very crackly lines. The letter just gives that little more time for reflection. They touched this piece of paper and then sealed it, you know. They've kissed it themselves, if you like.
The nature of war might have changed over the past 300 years, but the sentiments expressed in these letters are remarkably similar. For some, separation would be temporary. For others, like the writer of this note in 1943, there would be no reunion.
Whatever fate may bring, or time can do, there is one lasting thing: my love for you.